When we talk about social impact, what do we actually mean? Social impact is the effect on people or communities that arises as the result of an action or an inaction. This can be due to a program, project, policy, or activities. Quite simply, it's about the difference that your organisation makes. In the context of social investment, it's really important to be able to understand and communicate your social impact. This is because social investors are interested in both the financial return and the social impact you're making. That is what makes them different to high street banks and mainstream investors. If you're an organisation that's thinking about taking on social investment, it's really important for you to be able to plan, understand, communicate, and improve upon your social impact. When you're starting out with impact practice though, just remember that there's lots to learn and lots of options and tools. What's really important is that you take an approach that's feasible and realistic for you, taking into consideration your stakeholders and your resources. For any organisation looking to start or improve upon its impact practice, there are 4 key steps to take. Number 1, plan. This is about planning the desired impact that you want to have and how you're going to measure that impact. Number 2, do. This is about measuring the impact that you're trying to make and measuring that performance against your key goals. Number 3, assess. This step is about making sense of the data that you've collected and looking at whether you can draw any patterns, trends, or conclusions from it. And number 4, review. This last step of the process is about reviewing and reflecting on the data that you've collected, making plans for how you're going to communicate that with your stakeholders or social investors, and how you're going to use it as a tool to improve your organisation's activities. This 4-step method was developed by Inspiring Impact, a free website full of tools, resources, and peer learning for charities and social enterprises looking to improve their impact practice. In this module, we'll be diving deeper into the topic of impact. We'll be looking at why it's important to understand what impact is, why it's important for charities and social enterprises to be able to manage it, and how you can measure your impact. Sometimes, to measure and communicate impact clearly, it helps to have a theory of change, the story behind why and how your organisation achieves the change that it does. We'll be looking a bit more at this tool. We'll also be looking at the outcomes matrix. This is a customizable and downloadable tool available on the Good Finance website that helps you plan and understand the outcomes your organisation makes. You'll also get the chance to learn about charities and social enterprises and their real experiences managing and measuring impact, whether that's to improve upon their activities or communicate with social investors. We'll be using case studies and real stories to bring this to life for you. Lastly, it's important to remember that sometimes this can feel like a time-consuming and complex topic. Later on in this module, we'll be covering some free tools, simple methodologies, and key steps to help you get started. And remember, the Inspiring Impact Jargon Buster is always on hand to help if you need it. The most important thing to keep in mind with your impact practice is that the key thing is to get started.